Chapter 3 Prayers.
Here you are talking about God, Anastasia, but how do you pray? Or do you not pray at all? Many people in their letters have requested that I ask you about this.
Vladimir, what do you understand by the word pray?
How's that? Is that so hard to understand? Praying means praying. You mean you don't understand what the word means?
People perceive the same words differently and sense a different meaning behind them. I ask you so that I myself could speak more understandably. How do you understand the meaning of prayer?
I haven't thought much about the meaning, but I do know one prayer, the main one, by heart, and sometimes I recite it just in case. It must have some meaning since so many recite it.
And so, you memorized a prayer and didn't want to learn its meaning?
It's not that I didn't want to, I just never gave much thought to its meaning. I thought it was clear to everyone, so why give it any thought? A prayer is just a kind of conversation with God.
But if by the main prayer with God we mean a conversation, tell me how you speak to God, your Father, without meaning.
I don't know how. Why do you keep going on about this meaning? Whoever wrote the prayer must have known it.
But wouldn't you like to speak with the Father for yourself?
Naturally. Each person would like to communicate with the Father for himself.
But how can you for yourself while uttering strangers' words and without giving any thought to what stands behind them?
At first, I was a little irritated at Anastasia's insistence on the meaning of the prayer I'd learned, but later I myself got interested in determining it because somehow the thought occurred to me. How did this happen? I learned a prayer, repeated it more than once, and barely thought about what was in it. It would be interesting to sort it out, since I memorized it. To Anastasia I said, "All right, I'll give the meeting some thought somehow."
What do you mean somehow? Do you mean right now, right here, you couldn't recite your prayer?
Why not? Of course I could.
Then recite the prayer, Vladimir, the one you called chief of all and with the help of which you tried to talk to our Father.
I only know the one. I memorized it because everyone else seemed to consider it the most important.
So be it. Recite your prayer and I will follow your thought.
Fine, listen. I recited the Our Father to Anastasia. In it, if you recall, it says, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory of the Father and Son and Holy Spirit, forever and ever. Amen." I fell silent and looked at Anastasia. She had dropped her head, not looking at me. She sat in silence, sorrowful, until I couldn't stand it, and I asked her, "Why are you silent, Anastasia?" Without lifting her head, she said,
What do you want me to say, Vladimir?
"What do you mean?" I recited it without even a moment's hesitation. "Did you like it?" You could say, "But you're silent."
When you were reciting the prayer, Vladimir, I tried to follow your thoughts, feelings, and the meaning of the address. The words of the prayer are understandable, but you did not understand all the words in it. Your barely born thought rushed and got lost, and there were no feelings at all. You have not learned the meaning of many of the prayer's words, and did not address anyone. You were just muttering.
Still, I did recite the whole thing. I've been in church, and there are even more incomprehensible words there. Other people, I've heard them recite. They mumble lickety-split, and that's all. But I recited it all clearly and slowly, so you'd understand.
But before this you said prayer is an address to God.
You said that.
But God is our Father, He is an individual, He's living substance. The Father is capable of feeling and understanding when normal contact is made. But you...
What about me? I'm telling you, that's how everyone recites when addressing God.
Imagine your daughter Polina is in front of you, and all of a sudden she starts speaking in a monotone and weaving words into phrases that she herself doesn't understand. You, her father? Would you like your daughter to address you like that?
The moment I clearly pictured this situation, I felt awful. My daughter is standing in front of me and mumbling something like some kind of half-wit, she herself not understanding what she wants. I decided for myself, no, I must sort out the prayer consciously. I shouldn't be repeating words unconsciously, or else I stand before God like one half-witted dolt. Let other people mumble it that way. I must understand this entire prayer. Only I have to find a translation for the unclear words somewhere. And why do they speak that unclear language in churches? Out loud, I said to Anastasia, "You know, the translation here must be incomplete and inaccurate. That's why, as you said, my thought was lost."
Vladimir, you can understand the meaning from this translation too. Of course, there are words in it that have gone out of use in everyday speech, but their meanings are clear when you think about them and determine what is most important for you and most pleasant for our Father. What do you want when you are uttering your prayerful address to our Father?
Well, what the words say, that's probably what I want. To give me bread, forgive my sins and debts, and not lead me into temptation and rid me of evil. It's all clear there.
Vladimir, God gave his sons and daughters all their food before they were born. Look around you. It was all done for you long ago. Our loving parent forgives sins for everyone without being asked, and has no thought of leading anyone into temptation. Our Father gave each person the ability not to surrender to sinister promises. Why do you offend our Father with your ignorance of what he did long ago? Around you are all his eternal gifts. A loving parent who has given his child everything. What else can he give?
What if there is something he still hasn't given?
God is the ultimate. He presented his sons and daughters with everything from the beginning. Everything. In full. A parent devoted to his child. He could not imagine a greater good than joy from his children's joyous being his sons and daughters. Tell me, Vladimir, what feelings might our Father have experienced who gave his children everything from the beginning, and who sees his children standing before him praying to him continuously? More, protect us, save us. We are all helpless. We are all nothing. Answer me, please. Here are you, a parent or one of your friends. Would you like to have children like that?
I'm not going to answer here right away. I'll sort this out myself when I can think calmly.
Yes, of course, fine, Vladimir. Only please, when you do find the time, think what our Father would like to hear from you apart from your requests.
So what, God too might want something from us? What?
The same thing each person wants to hear from his children.
Tell me, Anastasia, do you ever say a prayer to God yourself?
Yes, I do.
Then recite me your prayer.
I can't to you, Vladimir. My prayer is intended for God.
Then for God, and I'll hear it. Anastasia stood up, her arms spread, turning away from me, and spoke her first words. The ordinary words of a prayer, but everything inside me seemed to throb suddenly. She spoke them the way we speak what is not a prayer. She spoke them the way people turn to their closest, most beloved, dearest person. Her speech had all the intonations of vibrant interaction, passion, joy, and desperate ecstasy, and as if he to whom Anastasia had turned ardently was nearby.
Our Father who is everywhere, for your great light I thank you, and for making real your kingdom thank you. For your loving will I thank you. Be forever kind and good. For my daily food I thank you, and for patience, forgiveness of the sins upon your earth. My Father who is everywhere, your daughter among your creations, I shall not allow sin and weakness in myself, but stay deserving, worthy of your accomplishments. My Father who is everywhere. I am your daughter, your child who lives for your delight. I shall multiply your glory with myself. The coming ages shall all live inside your dream. So shall it be. So do I desire. My Father who is everywhere. I am your daughter.
Anastasia fell silent. She continued to commune with everything around her. Light seemed to shine around her. When she was uttering the words of her prayer next to me, something invisible happened, and thus something invisible touched me too, on the inside, not the outside. It made me suddenly feel good and calm. But as Anastasia moved away, this feeling passed. As she moved away, I said, "You recited your prayer as if someone were beside you capable of responding to it." Anastasia turned to face me, and her face was joyful. She spread her arms out to the sides and spun, smiling, and then looking me seriously in the eyes.
Vladimir, God our Father also speaks to each person with a prayer, answers each prayer.
Why then does no one understand his words?
His words? There are so many words with different meanings among earthly nations, so many dissimilar languages and dialects, but there is one language for all, one language of divine appeals for all. It is woven from the rustling of leaves, the singing of birds, and the waves. God's language has smells and color. God gives a prayerful answer in this language to each request and prayer.
Could you translate what he is telling us into words?
Yes, approximately.
Why approximately?
Our language is much poorer than the one God speaks with us.
Still, tell me as best you can. Anastasia glanced at me, suddenly reached out in front of her, and her voice, her chest voice, rang out.
My son, my dearest son, I've waited long, and I wait still. Years in a minute, ages in an instant, still I wait. To you I've given all the blessed earth, you're free and everything, you choose your path. Still I beg you, son, my dearest son, be happy, son, I beg you. You do not see me, you do not hear me. In reason there lurk doubts and tears. Move away to where you search. For what? To whom do you bow down? I stretch my hand to you, my son, my dearest son. Be happy, I beg you. You stray again along a path to nowhere. On this path the earth explodes with deadly force. You are free and the earth explodes your destiny. You are free, yet I remain, reviving you with the last blade of grass. And once again the glorious world will shine. Be happy, I beg you. The faces of the saints are full of grief. They frighten you with hell and judgment. They tell you I come to judge. And yet I merely pray for when we are as one again. I trust you will return. I know you'll come again. I shall embrace you once again, not a stepfather. No, I'm yours, your Abba Father. And you are my own son. My dear son, may we find together joy.
When Anastasia fell silent, it took me a while to regain my senses. It was as if I kept listening to everything around me, but maybe I was listening to the blood racing through my veins, inside me, in an unusual rhythm. What had I understood? To this day I myself don't understand. She had set out in her ardent interpretation God's prayer to man. Whether the words are true or untrue, who's to say now? And why? Who can explain why they arouse my feelings so powerfully? What am I doing now? Agitatedly, I ran my hand over the page with some comprehension or with none. Am I losing my mind? Do I weave her words with what the bards now sing in her name? It all may be. Perhaps others will understand for me, and I will try to understand when I finish writing. And I'm writing again. But once again, as they are in the forest, as if breaking through a curtain, the lines of the taiga prayers sometimes ring out. And once again a question. An agonizing question that still faces me to this day. It arises from our life in images and meditations. I'm afraid to respond to it myself, but I can no longer hold it inside me. Might someone convincing find an answer? The prayer! This is Anastasia's prayer, made up just of words. The words of a taiga hermit, uneducated, with a unique way of thinking and living. Mere words. But for some reason, each time they pulse anew through the veins of my writing arm, and the blood courses through them faster, measuring the seconds in which I must decide what is better and how to go on living. Ask the good Father to relieve me, give me, save me, or like this, decisively and from the soul, the way she did, to state suddenly, My Father, who is everywhere, I won't allow sin and weakness in myself. I am your son. I am for your delight. I'll multiply your glory with myself. Which prayer will he like more? What should I, or all of us together, do? What path should we follow? My Father, who is everywhere, I won't allow sin and weakness in myself. But where do I get the strength to say that and to live up to what I say?
End of chapter. Join us for the next segment of Co-Creation, Book 4 of the Ringing Cedar series, Anastasia's Family Line.